All right, so some of you have been asking me about the jumper Bumblebee, and I did not get one for review, but I'm just going to give you my thoughts on this based on my own perceptions and also some feedback I got from viewers that bought this and returned it. I no longer have a contact in jumper. I used to have two people I talk to on a regular basis, and the last radio I reviewed I got from them was the T15, which was all right. It was a pretty nice radio. Pretty unique because it had a touchscreen that the Boxer does not have. But anyway, somehow they disappeared. Apparently this happens when they let employees go and they just don't pass on whoever they're working with to the next person. And as you probably noticed, not a lot of people got this radio for review. I think I only saw maybe one or two channels that got this radio for review, whereas they had previously sent out like the T15 to about, I think about 30 different channels. So I'm pretty sure that the two contacts I had at the company are now no longer with them anymore. And typically when this happens, I've had this happen many times with other companies. They ghost me, and usually the employees get let go, laid off. And then shortly after that, the company's gone, like they're just off the face of the earth. So not saying this is going to happen in Jumper, but I've seen this happen before. And this is a radio I was considering just buying, and because it looked interesting. But the more and more I thought about it, I didn't think like this was going to replace my Radio Master Pocket Crush. And I'll link that video in the video description. You know, the Pocket Crush, I actually have this blue one here, the Iceberg Blue. It's my favorite radio. It's the one I daily drive. I use it every day. And I have the AGON Nano gimbals in here as well. They're $60. And the Pocket Crush is $64. So that's $125. And then the cost of the Jumper Bumblebee is $109. So granted, the Bumblebee does do 1 watt ELRS. It does have the nice black and white OLED screen, although it's not, small screen. It's not a big deal, but the thing that I just couldn't get myself to pick it up is that it's $110, and for $15 more you get the Pocket Crush with the AG01 Nano gimbals, which is a far nicer radio. Now, granted, it still is limited to 250 milliwatts, which I think is plenty for most people. And really, the only advantage the Jumper has here is the 1 watt ELRS transmitter. So I did talk to a couple of my viewers that asked me if I was going to review this. I said, oh, I don't have one, and I don't think I'm going to get one. So they went and picked it up anyway. I'm not sure which store they bought it from. I'm just showing here that it's available at Newbie Drone if you want to buy one. But, they picked it up, and then I asked them, if you have any feedback, let me know what you think of it, and maybe I'll pass it on to some other people. And they both returned it. I don't know which color they got. They said that, so one of them had a T20, a Jumper T20 already. They said that the plastics and the build quality was a little bit lower than the T20. The T20 is all right, but again, this is more on the budget side. $110, I guess. I don't know if you consider a budget or not compared to the Pocket. He said that the build felt a little cheap compared to the T20, and the gimbals were just like not that great. I was like, wow, they're Hall sensor gimbals, but they look like they're all plastic construction, which they are. And the other guy, I don't know what radio he was coming from. I think he said the Boxer, and he wanted to get a smaller radio. I just told him just get the Pocket, but he liked the form factor of this one better. So he picked this one up as well. And he said that he really did not like the gimbals at all, and that the whole radio felt really cheap. Now, how people feel about radios is very subjective. What one considers cheap and like kind of inferior, another person may disagree. So I've never actually held this radio in my hand personally, so it's hard to compare this to the Pocket. It would be hard for me to say that it would be better than the Pocket build. I think the build of the Pocket is pretty good. The plastic, the case, the housing is pretty solid. So yeah, I'm looking at this, and ultimately I decided I'm just not going to buy one. I tried reaching out through the email that I have from Jumper, and no one responded back. and the two contacts I had through Facebook are no longer there. So yeah, basically, I don't feel any reason to review this. I don't feel like there's any need to recommend this over the Pocket just based on the cost, because I already know that the gimbals are going to be way better at $125 versus $109 on this. And if you're wondering about another hack, I found another hack idea about upgrading the Pocket to a true 1 watt internal ELRS module instead of the software hack that I showed you earlier. I'll have that video out a little bit later. I have the parts and everything I need to do this. It's actual hardware hack. I just haven't had time to put it together. But yeah, I would, unless you really, really like this form factor, which, you know, basically is kind of like the Pocket, but they're just kind of, cut out this bottom section here between the batteries. And otherwise, if you kind of draw a line across the bottom here, it pretty much looks like the Pocket. That's a clone of the Pocket with worse gimbals and much higher cost. And the only advantage you have here is the 1 watt out of the box. You know, it has the built-in fan and everything like that. So that's where I stand in this one. I'm not going to bother taking a look at this. And this is just my thoughts here. For me, there's no compelling reason for me to try it out and then maybe switch from the Pocket, because I really like the Pocket already. So this radio would just have to be so much better than the Pocket for me to switch that there's really no point in me even bothering looking at this. And if I don't feel like I can switch over to this, there's no reason for me to recommend it anyway. So that's kind of where things stand with me. But if you have this radio and you have some differing opinions about it, let me know what you think in the comments below, because I don't know a lot of people that actually own this radio, like actually own it. So, you know, obviously, if you don't own it, you know, if you're going to sort of give your rehash of your thoughts on that based on just the pictures like I have here, I'm not sure how much value that adds really, because honestly, what I'm saying here probably doesn't add a whole lot of value. It's really subjective as to what, you know, how a radio feels to somebody in their hands and how they operate it on a daily basis. But I'm just telling you that I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to buy it. And these are the reasons why. So you can take it for what it is. And I'll link this as well as the Radio Master Pocket Crush and the AGO and Nano gimbals and the Pocket Crush review I made. I'll link all those down in the video description, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.